Welcome back to the Fanboy Cantina. In this video, we're talking about the Hasbro Selfie Series and is it worth $80? In July 2022, Hasbro announced its new Selfie Series, a new product to get your likeness immortalized in an action figure. Customers can choose one of 14 base male and female 6-inch action figures across the Star Wars, Marvel Legends, Ghostbusters, G.I. Joe, and Power Rangers lines. Using the Hasbro Pulse app, the customer can scan and submit images of their face, select hair color and other details, and then through Formlabs, they 3D print the custom head, and then it gets assembled, placed on the selected action figure body, and boxed and shipped to the customer. For more information on the process, I highly recommend checking out the Formlabs video on YouTube. From the promo pictures, these action figures look pretty good. You know, as a total package in the box and everything else, these look pretty promising. As a product, it's really ambitious to create individual personalized action figures at scale. So I was surprised in a good way to see the original announced price of $60. Sure, it's a lot of money compared to a figure off the shelf, but it's an action figure of yourself made to order, boxed and shipped to your house. Now, Gizmodo announced the new news that the action figure will now be $80. So Hasbro increased the price of the Selfie Series to $80. It's definitely worth checking out the full article for more details about the action figure and the experience. So, what do you think? Is the Hasbro Selfie Series worth $80? Now, for perspective, I'll add this. This is not the first time that Hasbro has produced custom action figures. Back in 2014, Hasbro, Disney, and a company called 3D Plus Me teamed up to produce custom action figures with 3D printed heads. The heads were placed on 12-inch action figures. Choices were limited. The only female option was a Black Widow sculpture, and it was priced at $45, which would be $56 in 2022 money. There were very limited numbers of Walmart locations where you could go to get your head scanned for this. And I tell you, I think the action figure is quite cool. That's a pretty good likeness of my 2014 self, or at least the head is. I wouldn't play with it at all, as the head is quite hard, and I think it's likely to break if it was played with and dropped. Then a year later, Hasbro expanded the program to include Star Wars, but the price went up by 33% to $60, which would be $75 in today's money. And in my experience, that figure was quite terrible. I don't even know where I put mine because it was just that much of a disappointment. It was as though they slapped a photo on a generic head. It looked painted or something. It looked really not great. And again, it was a head attached to a 12-inch limited articulation body. So when I heard the Hasbro Selfie Series would be a more articulated 6-inch action figure for that original $60 price, I thought it was within reason. When you consider a Hasbro action figure seems to be creeping up to $25, and you know, if you think of that remaining $35, that was being used to print the head, assemble it, attach it to the figure, individually box and ship it. It was within reason to me. Now, granted, the world is pretty different now than it was back in 2015. People can do this at home. People have 3D printers at home. It's more common, at least. However, I don't have a 3D printer, and I don't have the know-how to do this myself. So, you know, in terms of that premium, I could justify it at $60. And I think I can still justify it for myself at $80. I think it makes some sense. That said, it's really not a good look. Just a couple of months ago, if you were at San Diego Comic-Con in that limited audience, it was $60. And now, just a couple of months later, it's $80, increasing a price by $20 or 33% in today's environment is not a good look. Nonetheless, will I still get one? And honestly, the answer is yes. I would have liked to have gotten more than one action figure, but at that price point, I can't justify that, right? So for $80 for this novelty to have my likeness rendered onto that action figure, that is cool. Should Hasbro have figured out the pricing earlier and not set that benchmark in folks' heads? Yeah, absolutely. I am curious if they're planning on rolling this out to younger kids, because the site says it's for people 16 and older, and I have to imagine that it's to match the head with that action figure body. If you had a toddler head on an adult body, it's just going to look odd. But nonetheless, we want to hear from you. Post in the comments, what do you think of the Hasbro Selfie Series? What do you think of the $80 price point? Are you still going to get one? Were you going to get one at $60 and not going to get it at $80? Would you even pay $100? I would not. That would be too much. Post in the comments. We would love to hear from you. As always, thank you so much for watching. Please take a moment to like, share, and subscribe. This has been the Fanboy Cantina.